Hello everyone, Ian Smith here with fedsmith.com, here to talk to you about the TSP, and more specifically, the number of TSP millionaires. If you're a current or former federal employee, no doubt you're familiar with the Thrift Savings Plan. But what you may not know is just how lucrative this important retirement savings vehicle that you have at your disposal can be, especially over the course of a federal career. I was going to go over some numbers with you here. And the important milestone here is that the number of TSP millionaires has hit a new record high. As of July 1st of this year, a record 224,420 federal employees and retirees are now sitting on $1 million or more in their TSP accounts. That's a lot of millionaires in one retirement plan. But here's the thing though, this number didn't just climb steadily. It actually took a pretty dramatic detour earlier this year. And understanding that story tells you something important about how the TSP works. So let's rewind for a moment to March 2026, just a few months ago. The TSP millionaire count at that time had actually fallen to 184,532 at the end of the first quarter. That was down from a previous record of 194,722 at the end of 2025. That's because the stock market had a rough first quarter. The CNS funds both took a hit, and each was down close to 5% in the first quarter. And when stocks dip, account balances dip with them. And in the first quarter, there was more volatility, like the big thing at the time, the war in Iran was just getting going. And so that drove markets down, stock prices down. So all those people who were millionaires in December now suddenly had accounts that were smaller or less valuable on paper, at least. And that's the thing about market-based investing. Your balance will fluctuate based on what the market does on any given day. But then Q2 happened, the markets rebounded, and they rebounded sharply. In just 3 months, April through June, the number of TSP millionaires jumped by 21.6%. That's 39,888 more people crossing the $1 million threshold in a single quarter. It was the biggest quarterly jump in the TSP's millionaire counts, in fact, since 2020. And it wasn't just concentrated in one fund or just the ultra wealthy or the higher value accounts. The recovery was broad-based. Let me show you what happened with the individual funds. On this slide, you can see where the recovery actually came from. The S fund, that's the small cap stocks, led the charge with nearly 20% returns. The C fund, which tracks the broad market, came in at about 15%. And the I fund, which is the international funds, was almost 14.5%. Even the bond funds had respectable gains, although obviously nowhere near in the same ballpark. The key point here is that all three stock funds moved up together. And that broad recovery across the board is why we saw accounts jump across all the different balance tiers and not just the really large accounts. Consistent savers who had 500, 750,000 heading towards $1 million, they all got boosted up by roughly the same percentage. That's how you get nearly 40,000 millionaires in a quarter. Now, here's something else interesting that most people don't think about. Total TSP assets hit $1.156 trillion as of May 2026. And that's an all-time high. But the money flowing in and out tells a different story. In the first 5 months of this year, federal employees and retirees have withdrawn and borrowed $33.98 billion. Meanwhile, however, new contributions and loan repayments came in at $22.4 billion. That's a net outflow of about $11.58 billion. And by the way, this is all based on data from the Federal Retirement Thrift Investment Board, which is the agency that oversees the TSP. So in other words, more people are taking money out of the TSP than are putting money in. And that's happening because of the shrinking federal workforce, most likely at least. And as I'm sure you're aware, the federal workforce shrank considerably over the last year. So there are fewer active employees contributing paychecks to the plan and a growing number of recent retirees who are drawing down their balances. So here's the reality. The record number of TSP millionaires and record total assets aren't being powered by new money flowing into the plan. They're being powered primarily by market performance. And that's that second quarter run up in stocks that I was showing you on the previous slide. When the markets go up, balances grow. When they go down, balances shrink. It's that simple. And so if you're watching this and thinking, I really want to be a TSP millionaire too, here's the important thing to remember. The average person who has hit the $1 million mark has been contributing to the TSP for 27 years on average. That's more than a quarter century. And so that's one full career for a lot of federal employees. It's not about timing the market or making some brilliant move at just the right time, such as right before Q2 when the market shot up. It's impossible to time the market. It's about consistency, putting in contributions month after month, year after year, whether the market's up or down. It's about letting compound growth do the heavy lifting over time. Again, timing the market right every single time is nearly impossible to do. If it wasn't, everybody would be a billionaire. So the volatility we saw in this year, the dip in Q1, the rebound in Q2, that's just noise if your timeline is measured in decades. And that's really the important thing. What matters is that you stayed the course. So what's the real takeaway here? The TSP just hit a record number of millionaires, which is great for all those federal employees and retirees who made it there. But the bigger story is that this record exists because the markets rebounded after a tough quarter. They came back even stronger than ever. It's an important reminder that your retirement savings are going to fluctuate. Some quarters will be great, some will be rough. But if you're investing for a 20, 30, 40-year timeline, which most federal employees are over the course of a full federal career, those quarterly swings are just part of the ride. The key is not to panic when the market dips and not to get overconfident when things spike. Just keep contributing, keep your allocation diversified, and let time do the work. That is how you become a TSP millionaire. I hope you found the information in this video helpful. I appreciate you watching today. If you'd like more information, I've included a link in the description to an article that goes into a lot more detail on this topic as well. That's on the fedsmith.com website. And you can check it out there, as well as our other articles on this and other topics of interest to current and former federal employees. And I hope you found the information inspiring as well. That's part of why we share this information on the TSP Millionaires, is to show especially younger federal employees what's possible with investing in the TSP over the course of an entire federal career, especially if you keep contributing on a regular basis from each paycheck and picking up the match that the government gives you. It really can build up over time, as these numbers clearly indicate. So I hope you found this helpful, and thank you for watching, and have a good day.